Hey there, Jets fans. This is Matt Barbato, founder and editor-in-chief of New York Jet Fuel, here to break down the Jets' 2016 schedule. And after a 2015 season where the Jets had one of the easier schedules in the NFL, that will not be the case in 2016. The Jets have the seventh toughest schedule in the league based off of last season's records. We sort of already knew that coming into this season. You knew the opponents, we just didn't know the order. And on Thursday night, the NFL released the order of every NFL schedule, every team schedule. And it is not easy for the Jets right out of the get-go. So let's break the entire thing down for you here. The Jets kick off the 2016 season at home for the seventh consecutive year. This year will be against another AFC North opponent, the Cincinnati Bengals. So the Jets will get thrown into the fire right away against the defending AFC North champions. Like I said, this is the seventh season in a row the Jets have opened at home. The past 6 years, they have gone 5-1 and won 5 consecutive games, season opening games at home. Other important notes, the first 6 games of the 2016 season will really define this Jets team because it is a daunting start to the season. The Jets play their first 6 games are against teams that finished 500 or better last season. 5 of those teams made the playoffs. The one team that didn't, the Buffalo Bills, and they beat the Jets twice last year. So there will not be a gimme on the Jets schedule until I guess week 7 when they take on the Baltimore Ravens at home. But that game could be misleading. Yes, the Ravens were 5-11 last year, but they're still a pretty good team. They've got a franchise quarterback in Joe Flacco, and they were riddled with injuries last year. So they should step back up into the AFC North picture in 2016. So the schedule goes first 6 games at home against Cincinnati, at Buffalo for a Thursday night game, at Kansas City, versus Seattle, at Pittsburgh, and then at Arizona. So that is a absolutely rigorous stretch, and it is probably the 4 toughest games on the schedule might all come in a row, at Kansas City versus Seattle, at Pittsburgh, and then at Arizona. Another odd note, the Jets have 5 primetime games this year, starting with the aforementioned game against Buffalo on Thursday Night Football in Week 2. After that, they'll play on Monday Night Football Week 6 on October 17th against Arizona. So Todd Bowles will coach against his mentor, Bruce Arians, in primetime in Glendale, Arizona. After that, the Jets don't go on primetime until the first game after their Week 11 bye. The Jets will be on Sunday Night Football against the New England Patriots, an 8:30 start at MetLife Stadium. Then they play another home game, another home primetime game against the Indianapolis Colts on Monday Night Football, December 5th on ESPN. After they travel to San Francisco the next week for a December 11th showdown with the 49ers, they're on primetime again, but this time it's a Saturday night game against the arch rival Miami Dolphins. So there's really no easy pocket on this Jets schedule. What's really odd is 3 of their first 4 games coming off of the bye are primetime games, and they're all at home. So it's a very bizarre scheduling this year. And the Jets finished with 3 straight divisional games to close out the year. They go Miami on that aforementioned Saturday Night Football game. Then Christmas Eve, it might not be very holly jolly holiday season. The Patriots and Jets will square off in Foxborough Saturday, December 24th, otherwise known as Christmas Eve. And then the Jets break in 2017, just like they broke in 2016 last year against the Buffalo Bills. This time it will be at MetLife Stadium. And if the Jets are in the same position as they were in last year, they certainly will not want to squander that opportunity against the Rex and the Bills. So that's about it for my breakdown. I asked for your Twitter comments and questions about the Jets schedule, so I'll read through some of those and react to those. Zach Ducks Playoff says those first 6 games are rough. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. The first 6 games of the schedule will pretty much define the Jets season. I think if they can find a way to salvage 3 wins in that stretch, it'll be huge going down the road. Especially with 2 out of your 3 final games against divisional opponents at home. Those games will all matter, and especially games against the Steelers and Chiefs, who edged out the Jets in playoff positioning last year. Remember, the Jets and Steelers had the same record, but the Steelers owned the tiebreaker due to a better record against the conference. So if the Jets want to get into the playoffs, they have to take advantage of those 2 games especially. Let's see, what else do we have here? K-Twist says, tough, but we've had tougher. I don't know how much tougher this sort of schedule gets. I think this is one of the tougher schedules the Jets have had in recent memory. Let's see. Andy N says, it's not 2010, but the NFL is showing the Jets some love again. Sunday Night Football with Al and Chris Collinsworth. Wow. Yeah. I always love the Sunday Night Football broadcast. The Jets are on 1 Sunday Night Football game this year, 2 Monday night games, and then 1 Thursday night game and a Saturday night game. So they're on every day of the week this season. So they got a lot of primetime games, and you always hear NFL teams and players say, they hate primetime games because you have to wait around, and it's like you see all the other teams play on Sundays, and then you're sort of waiting for that 8:30 kickoff. Jets are going to be experiencing that a lot this year. I wonder how that'll affect their preparation and their psyche. Tripp says, LOL, we getting our butts handed to us week 1 through 6. Well, that could very well be the case, especially if the Jets don't find a quarterback or don't re-sign Ryan Fitzpatrick. I believe I have one question. Here it is from BABIP Gods. Which games do you feel are the most winnable out of that brutal week 1 through 7 slate? So since you said weeks 1 through 7, I have a bit of a cop-out because they play Baltimore week 7. Not that I think that'll be a slouch game, but it is at home. The Ravens they should be better, especially with all their key players healthy. But that won't be an easy game either. Outside of that, if you're telling me week 1 through 6, I guess Buffalo week 2. But the Jets, they got swept by Buffalo last year. Rex Ryan will surely have his guys fired up for that Thursday night game. And I always say the disadvantage in Thursday night football games goes to the road team. So the Jets will definitely have a hard time with that. Other than that, I'm not sure if any of these games are winnable, especially if the Jets don't have a quarterback, because they're going to be playing some really good defenses throughout this slate. The Bengals, Bills, Chiefs, Seahawks, and Cardinals all have very, very good defenses. And the Steelers' defense should be getting better this year too. So if you were asking me what are I'll say 3 most winnable games in that weeks 1 through 7 stretch, I would say Baltimore, Buffalo, and then I'll say Seattle at home at MetLife Stadium. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff. West Coast teams have had a hard time in the past coming east for a 1 p.m. Eastern start because that's pretty much a morning game for them. So it takes them a little while to reset their body clock. So the Jets could steal one against the Seahawks, but I don't know if they'll have an answer for Russell Wilson either. So that'll wrap up my 2016 schedule breakdown. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at New York Jet Fuel, and you can follow me at Real Matt Barbato and follow the site at New York Jet Fuel. And be sure to like us on Facebook and keep an eye on www.nyjetfuel.com for scheduling, commentary, plenty of off-season news. The draft is only 2 weeks away, so we'll have plenty of scouting reports on the upcoming rookies for you on www.nyjetfuel.com. Thanks for watching. This has been a Jet Fuel video.